Ripon Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Ripon Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
It's meant to keep eyes like daggers cut the dark. Blazing trails ignite the spark. We're the thunder in the storm, breaking free from narrow norm. Tin Hat Thursday, light the flame. Sparks ignite, don't play the game. Rip it open, break the mold. Truth is fire, truth is gold.
Good evening and welcome to Tin Hat Thursday. It is Thursday, March 5th, 2026. I am Screech Owl Scott,
And I am Red.
and we're coming to you live from our perch high above the western shores of Lake Michigan, where we will be screaming 360 degrees of truth. We want to thank you for joining us on Tin Hat Thursday, and hope that you will join us right here on Ripon Common Sense Radio each and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you are listening on YouTube or on Rumble, we invite you to hop on over to riponrabbithole.com and join the rest of Tin Hat Nation in the VIP Backstage Lounge. The Backstage Lounge is free and always will be. Go to riponrabbithole.com, click on the Backstage 24/7 Lounge in the taskbar. Scroll down a bit until you see the Backstage Lounge, and click on the big red Enter Now button. While the premise is put in your name and join the fun. Just remember to keep yourself muted until the show ends. Listen to the show and then hang around for some spirited discussion with others. The Backstage Lounge is a great place to meet new friends and talk about anything that you want to. And we can speak from experience when we say that you will often find screech owls deep into the early AM hours.
That's riponrabbithole.com. RIPONRABBITHOLE.com. Tin Hat Nation is still filing into the Backstage Lounge as we speak. And I really hope that they brought healthy snacks tonight, because tonight we're going to be talking about mechanically separated food.
Could get really gross
Ew.
tonight, Red. It really could. And we're going to be talking about, like you say, the types of food we're ingesting and where we're ingesting it. It could get pretty crazy tonight.
You know, I have a hard enough time eating food as is now that we've learned all this. So I hate to see what the mechanically separated food is about.
Yeah, I think we might not be eating dinner tonight, Red.
Probably not.
We'll probably
Maybe we
go-
should have ate beforehand.
Maybe we should have eaten beforehand. In any event, like Red said, people are starting to file into the Backstage Lounge. So why don't we get the show going?
I have to agree. You know,
Whoa, did you hear that in my ear?
I know,
Red?
I did too. Unfortunately, we didn't eat.
No.
I didn't get a chance.
But that's right.
to.
But as we were just saying, people are starting to file into the backstage. I want to welcome Studio B, Ripon Rabbit, Harry T-Rex is in the backstage,
Corey B. and Captain Pete.
and Captain Pete, and I expect some more people to file in. I'm not
Yep,
sure what's
it's
happening.
It's still early
It is early, and we're on time tonight
for once.
for once. So people expect us to be a little bit late, I think, and it looks like over on YouTube they might be hearing us now. Looks like Nikki Rabbit is over on YouTube along with AJ the Ripon Rabbit. I'm hoping everything is working the way as it should.
I know it was working on Rumble when we first started, when the music was playing, so I assume it's still going. And Christine popped in, so we got more seats available.
We do. And Red, I think before we jump into the gross aspects of our diet these days, we were on YouTube last night for the first night, you and I.
Yes,
And
we were.
we kind of jumped right into programming because we had a very special guest, Timothy Rampton.
Yes.
And we knew we had a full hour's worth of show that we wanted to make sure we got it to as much as we could.
Correct.
With Tim. So we really didn't introduce ourselves to the YouTube audience who are new to you and I because we weren't doing this when AJ uh, left the platform for
Correct.
4 years, I think, because of some censorship issues.
Correct.
So for those of you who are hearing us for the first time on YouTube, we are Screech and Red. We joined the Animals of Radio. Screech came on a couple years ago.
Yeah, I
I
want to
think
say it was
almost 2 years ago.
I
Almost 2 years
believe.
ago, and
Yeah.
then Red, who is my partner in life, my wonderful, beautiful wife,
Oh, thank you.
joined me, and we team up to form the Owls of Radio, and we do 2 shows a week.
Yes.
Primarily, we do
Wednesdays
Wednesday
and
night,
Thursdays.
which is We the People Wednesday, which is kind of an open format. Normally, if you listened to us last night, we didn't have a lot of audience participation because we had so much information, and we wanted Tim to be able to.
Get that
We were
information
promoting,
out, or
uh,
we wanted our information out, and we wanted his feedback.
right. So, but normally we open it up and we open the lines up, and people are able to offer their opinion on Wednesday night and join the conversation. And it's really a show for we the people. And we talk
Yep.
about
Yep.
serious things. We talk about politics oftentimes.
Most
and
of the time, yeah.
because we're based in Wisconsin, folks, we talk a lot about Wisconsin politics.
But a lot of the Wisconsin politics trickles throughout the U.S., so it's
And,
not.
and we are one of the swing states. So
Yeah,
it's very
yeah.
important.
It's not like we don't talk about other states, but it's just, this is more familiar to us, and we find that a lot of what goes on in Wisconsin goes throughout the U.S. Maybe not in every state, but the majority of the states, yes.
Right. So, in any event, Red, uh,
And when I met Screech, I was more of the tin hat person, and I think he kind of woke up more
hey,
to the
be,
to the tin hat. What? Hey, you always put the tin foil on my head when I'm talking to somebody, so
So Tin Hat
there you
Thursday
go.
can be a variety of subjects. It could be anywhere from flat Earth to aliens to
We haven't gotten into
we,
the aliens yet.
no. Although you are a shapeshifter,
No, I am not.
but
Long
but
story on that one.
Tin Hat Thursday can be a variety of subjects. But you will also find once in a while we will hit some very serious topics
Yes.
because we have guests that can only come on Thursday night, and we've talked about. We did a series on the flooding and Hurricane Helene. We've
Yep.
done stories about survivors of the COVID pandemic and hospital protocols. So
And
it can be very serious sometimes.
and if you think about the hospital protocols, though, at that time, and you look at it now, the tin hat was on very tight, I guess you would say, because there's still some people that don't believe what had happened back in 2020. And technically speaking, what's still happening now. But that's for another show.
Right, that's for another show. And tonight, so that's us in a nutshell, right, Red?
Basically, yeah.
You're the comic of the group, and I'm the more serious
Oh,
type.
please. Please.
But
no, that's not true.
So in any event, tonight we want to talk about food because our food sources in this country are just like over the top, and it's gotten to the point where although I'm 200 and
Some
some
plus.
pounds, and I enjoy eating,
Yep,
and
we
I'm
both do.
I'm a burger connoisseur.
That's what you say, yes.
I am. I know the best burgers in town, even the ones that are the size of my head, and
But
but
they still
it's
don't show up like that in the pictures for some reason.
no, they don't. But it's gotten to the point where I become more conscious of the stuff that is in our foods. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're
I mean,
not
at the same time, after learning everything that we've learned about the food, it's like we look at labels a lot more now than we ever did. And it's like, what can we eat?
not as but
Hardly anything.
we don't look at labels the way we should. We really
Right,
don't because
right.
there's a lot of crap in our food, folks. And we're going to get into that a little bit later, but kind of the reason that we wanted to talk about food tonight was because it of a friend of ours, right? So a friend who frequents
Oh, yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
national chain restaurant,
Yeah, I
and
forgot about that one.
she absolutely loves their burgers.
Yes.
And
We were talking the other night, and oh shoot, I should have went back and reviewed what we said because my memory. Um, she said, "Well, thank gosh that I can go and eat this one because it's my favorite burger." And we were talking about preformed burgers. Like if we go to a restaurant now and we see a preformed burger, it's really difficult to eat it because the chances of it being actual meat or real meat is little to nothing. And
or
we learned that the last time we went out to that, I don't even remember what restaurant it was, but when you put the burger up to your mouth to take a bite, you're like, smell this burger. I'm like, that is not a burger. And you
well,
couldn't eat it.
and even the ones that they claim are like real meat, there's something different about them.
Right.
But anyway, our friend who frequented a national chain restaurant, and uh, she loves their burgers, and she thought they were smash burgers, and she was told by the staff that, oh yeah, they're smash burgers. These are fresh ground beef, and we smash them on the griddle.
No, she said that they um form or they shape them there, that it's like fresh meat or fresh beef, and they actually make them there. And then
AJ, you don't need.
oh,
Oh, somebody's got a mic on.
that's Nikki. Okay, sorry
Okay,
about that.
so
I got
anyway,
it.
and we won't read verbatim what she said, but what she said, she did some research after she got home and found out that, uh,
She goes, they lied to me.
yeah, and she didn't use that language.
No, she did not. I'm
and,
I'm cleaning it
and,
up as much as I can.
and she was very disappointed that this restaurant that she covets their burgers lied to them about the fact that they don't actually hand press the patties
And preform, or they don't shape them themselves.
in the location that they get these burgers in, pre-pattied, probably frozen at one point, and she was very disappointed. So we thought, based on our own experiences and where we've come with food in terms of what we will eat and what we won't eat, we thought, what a better time to talk about food a little bit. And we're going to get into some kind of yucky stuff, I will, for the lack of a better, there's a good adjective.
Well,
yucky.
As you're talking about burgers, I'm sitting here thinking, usually when we go out, I like to enjoy a steak. And after learning what I've learned about steaks, it's very difficult to, you know, cut into a steak and then you see the stringy stuff, and I'm like, okay, I can't eat it no more because I've learned what that is.
But now you tend to eat steaks at those national chain places. I like a
Yep.
good Wisconsin supper club where I know their steaks are
Well,
steaks.
But I've come across some that have that exact same stringy stuff as what the national chains do.
See, I haven't run across that
I
myself.
have, and it's nasty. And then I cannot even think about taking another bite because it makes you want to vomit.
Right.
Thinking maybe it's perfectly fine, but just seeing the videos and learning what we have.
Well, we've seen videos of the
in my head now.
the 3D printed meats.
Yes.
And
that's a lot of the stringy stuff because they try to tie all of that together.
although I think, well, you would like to think that they would have to identify their meat as being 3D printed.
You would think so, but I don't think that there's a regulation on that.
But that's where I can appreciate the mom and pop, as what we know in Wisconsin as supper clubs.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like they're going to be a little more upfront with their clientele and their customers.
I would
in
think
terms
so.
of the kind of meat. You and I have gotten to the point, Red, where we won't buy meat in a grocery store
Nope.
anymore.
Nope, not anymore. We go to the meat shop or
And more recently,
butcher, whatever.
Recently we went in with a couple
dear
other
friend,
families, and we bought a portion of a cow
Mm-hmm.
that we know the history of the cow. We know where it was processed at a local meat plant, and now
Yep.
I can open that meat up anytime I want, and I can feel pretty good about what I'm eating.
And I tell you, man, since doing that, the difference in taste is amazing.
It
I mean,
really is.
it's so much more flavorful, and it makes you really wonder when you go
And
eat.
we've got some videos that we're going to play tonight,
Okay.
or one actually,
Okay.
that I'm going to play. That's kind of gross, but uh, folks, I do have a history with meat. Actually, I was a meat cutter back in the early '80s, so there I've aged myself.
Way
In
before I met him.
in the early '80s, I was a meat cutter, and I was someone who was cutting. Uh, we were cutting actual beef quarters that would come in, and I made hamburger and I made bratwurst and things like that, and I knew the consistency and the smell that you get with fresh ground meat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very unlike what you find in grocery stores now. The texture, uh, the smell of the meat, it's much different now than when I was cutting meat. So I can identify some of that stuff now, and the meat that we got from the farmer
Yep.
is the texture is much more like what I learned when I was cutting
Well,
meat.
and you mentioned to me when we go to grocery stores, um, if I can't see them actually cutting the meat, like back in the olden days, when you get the big, huge slabs in and see them cutting it, you won't buy the meat there because you don't know where that meat's coming from.
No, it's processed like many of the grocery stores now.
Mm-hmm.
The meat comes in prepackaged, not in a box where they cut it in the store, but prepackaged in the little packages,
Yep.
and it's processed in some plant somewhere
Yep. And you don't know
where
what's going on in
you
those
don't know,
plants.
and no, you don't. And
We're finding out some of them, but I just, yeah, this is a hard topic for me because we both love to eat
we love to eat, and
and our bellies show it.
and my weight shows it. It certainly does. Uh, but we'll get into some of those pictures, and we're going to talk. We're going to play some. I'm going to ask you to go to during the break. I'm going to ask you. So when the break comes, I'm going to ask you to go to your pantry and pull out a can of something, and we're just going to look at the ingredients, and we're going to see if anybody comes across anything really odd.
Is that why you have that
That's
there?
why I have that
Oh,
bottle right there,
gotcha.
Red. Because when the people come out, I found something very interesting in that bottle of what's supposed to be very very healthy, right? That I'm supposed to
Well, is
but
it healthy?
well, I'm supposed to eat it on a salad.
Yeah.
So I'm
I mean,
guessing
it doesn't say it's diet though.
that's for healthy
Isn't diet supposed to be good?
that but you would think if they're
I won't eat
encouraging me to
diet
eat
stuff.
if they're encouraging me to eat salads, they're thinking that I'm eating healthy.
Correct.
And we'll talk about one of
Don't
the
even get me
ingredients in there.
started on the 3D salads. Lettuce. Have you seen that?
I have not seen any
Oh man, I'm
any
having a hard
vegetable.
time with that one now too since I seen that one.
I've not seen any produce being 3D printed.
Whatever you do, if you see on your fruits and vegetables peel, made from peel, don't eat it. Oh hey, Screech, were you still in the backstage last night when Corey B said that her dad doesn't believe that you still have a burger that you purchased April 30th of 2024 from McDonald's?
You know, it doesn't surprise me that he would think that, because who would think that you would have a burger that's almost 2 years old?
Well, I remember when you first purchased it, you were like, okay, I'm going to do a little experiment here. And I'm like, okay, what experiment? And I seen you cooking a burger after you actually purchased the McDonald's one.
With fresh, real ground beef.
Correct.
And a burger or a bun from a bakery.
Correct. And you wrapped it up the same way as what the McDonald's burger was. And you put them side by side on the counter and left it. And I'm like, what the heck is he doing? Until
Until a couple days later, when the burger that we made on our stove
started to smell
really bad.
bad. I'm like, what is going on
And
here?
when we opened it up, the bun was like completely
Nasty.
molded and completely nasty. Everything smelled. There was no retaining that burger for future uh, evidence. We had to get that one out of the house because it was starting to stink up the house.
Exactly. We couldn't even make it to the next show to show people.
But we still have the McDonald's burger, don't we, Red?
We still do to this day.
And I think we should show Tin Hat Nation. I know many people, if you've been around the show long enough, you've seen this burger
A couple
on
times.
more than one occasion, right?
Right.
So let's show everybody what this almost 2-year-old burger looks like.
Yeah. And Corey, I hope your dad is in the backstage or, kind of watching, or maybe you could show him later on
show them on demand. Fast forward to this point, Corey, if you need to, because this burger, and I'm telling you that the receipt that which is taped to the bag is actually disintegrating quicker than what the burger never did. Actually,
Exactly. And you can barely, excuse me, you can barely read um, what was actually purchased. I mean, you could read where it's from and the date, but you can't really read the burger that you purchased and how much and all that because it's like the bottom part of the receipt, almost like it was like soaked in oil or something.
yeah, who knows? But anyway, so I'm going to open this burger up so that we can show it to Tin Hat Nation and anybody who's watching tonight because this is really gross. I mean,
It
it
is.
really begs the question: what is McDonald's doing to the food that they're serving billions of people around the world? That I mean, just look at this burger.
Exactly. And
It,
every time we have our grandkids with us, I think when they ask, "Oh, wait, let's go to McDonald's," I'm like cringing the whole time, and I don't want to say something that my daughter wouldn't appreciate. So I'm like, you know
but
what? We don't eat that kind of
but
food.
we don't take them there, and
Nope.
we
Nope, we
never
don't.
will.
No, we won't.
And it's not just McDonald's, folks. I mean, we're picking on McDonald's tonight because we have a McDonald's hamburger, but it's not
Correct.
just McDonald's.
No,
So
any fast food for that matter.
now that these pictures are up here, Red, I mean, look at this. The bun is completely intact yet. The bun never molded.
No, no.
The burger, the patty here, other than being really
Hard as a rock.
it looks the same as it did the day we bought it almost 2 years ago.
Exactly. I mean, the pickles, you can still see the pickles. They're a little dried up, but not bad. The ketchup and the mustard are kind of soaked into the bun, like dried up. The onions, they're shriveled up a little bit, but you can still see. Well, I don't want to say what it looks like, but you can still see that there's white dots,
But
and they're
it's just
onions.
it's just very dry.
Yep, and hard.
And it never molded, folks.
Nope.
The bun never molded, the meat never rotted.
And to me, I can't smell it.
If we could find a way to rehydrate this, and we thought about doing this at the Freedom Flame last year. We thought about
Yeah, against my better judgment.
Wetzel, a friend of the show and a friend of the network and a personal friend of ours, had agreed to eat this.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I like this idea. I don't want anyone to get sick.
And I thought it would be funny, but you're right. I mean, we're probably looking at charges to fix his teeth because it's as hard as a rock.
Well, I'm sure you'd probably
And
microwave it and
I don't
maybe
know.
it would soften.
I wonder if
don't
it
know.
would soften up.
I don't want to try it
There's
because I don't want to ruin the experiment.
Red, there's probably hacks you could do. Wrap it in a moistened towel or something and heat it up. Maybe that would pull all the moisture in. It would probably be good as new.
Probably. But would it ruin the experiment? Well, I guess it wouldn't matter because he'd eat it. There
Right.
would be no more experiment.
So this is the burger, folks. This is from 2 years ago. This is the real deal. This was an experiment that we did. This wasn't.
Well, technically you did it because I didn't like the idea, but I'm glad that you did it now.
It's still here. We're going to hang on to this. We're going to see how long.
It's our trophy.
And maybe this will be the way that we can keep our grandchildren from wanting to eat this garbage.
You know what? One of our grandchildren, the last time we were with him, he wanted to go to McDonald's, and we told him about this, and he doesn't believe that we actually have a burger. Maybe we should bring it with next time.
I think we should because I think we had the ability to sway our grandchildren and
more than my daughter.
Our own children still want to take their kids to eat this crap.
I don't think they believe us.
No, I don't think they do. So maybe I have to knock them in the head with this thing.
Literally.
So with that, this is the burger, folks, and we're gonna keep talking about this burger until
we're blue in the face.
I guess so.
Well, I looked up the ingredients in a McDonald's bun from the 1970s and until now. There was 8 to 10 ingredients in the buns in 1970. There is now 12 to 18 different ingredients. And I was looking at the different, like what it was then to what it is now. Like in the 70s, they had sugar. Now they have the high fructose corn syrup. Back in the 70s, they had vegetable oil or shortening. Now they have soybean oil.
And they have this one that I can't even pronounce.
Yeah, monodicyclerides or
And I'm
something.
sure a lot of that is the preservatives that prevent their bun from molding. And you know, I looked at our bread, a loaf of bread that we have at home. And folks, yes, I'm guilty of eating white bread, but
Yeah,
I noticed that our bread of late just hasn't molded. I remember when I was a kid, you know, if the bread
maybe a
did,
day or
if we
so.
didn't eat the bread real quick, you would always check the loaf before you made your sandwich to make sure that you weren't eating moldy bread. Even though my mom would say, "Well, just tear that part out,"
Yeah.
but uh,
Well, there's one thing that it said in the buns now is DATEM. And I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that one. You're better at that than I am. But that word right there,
oh well,
those
that no, I'm
ones.
not even going to give that one a try, Red,
Okay.
because you have to be a scientist to understand what a lot of
Okay.
this stuff is. But you know,
You can look it up. But
McDonald's will give you some lame excuse that their patties don't rot because of the way they're cooked. Yeah, and they put something out because many people have done similar. I should take that down before anybody gets nauseated and doesn't want to
I think that's a good
eat their
idea.
dinner. I almost forgot about that, Red.
But it says this DATEM is generally recognized as safe by regulatory bodies and is commonly used in baked goods to improve texture and volume. However, some studies suggest potential links to health issues like heart fibrosis and adrenal overgrowth. So, modernization is advised. So, if you have McDonald's food, it's, according to this, advised that you only have it once in a while, not all the time.
No, and you know that used to make it. They made it so simple with their dollar menu back in the day, and it you know before I was awakened to things like this, that the burgers will last forever. It would be so easy to slip into Mickey D's and grab a double cheeseburger for a buck.
Well,
But
and what was this one
well,
on? That's in.
that one's coming from that one, and we'll talk
Oh,
about that one
okay,
as soon as we
okay.
come out of the break. Which we're gonna hit some music here. We're gonna go into our break, Red, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about that. So, folks, uh, very quickly, go to your pantry and see if you can find something, anything, kind of a can
A
with some
label.
kind of a weird ingredient, and we'll be back in just a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So, very quickly, what do we have to talk about, Red? Freedom Flame. March 20th, a week, so that's 2 weeks from tomorrow,
Yes.
will be the Freedom Flame in Ripon, Wisconsin.
Be there.
Go to thefreedomflame.com and light your spark. Uh,
And if you're going to be in person, click on the in person tab and it'll give you a schedule of the events that day. If you're going to attend virtually, then click on the virtual tab and you'll see the schedule for the virtual portion.
right, and we'll be back on YouTube for the lighting of the Freedom Flame. It's a wonderful event, so please, if you can't attend in person, join us virtually. It's a great day, very emotional day, and
And when
celebrating the birth of the Republican Party and when we light the Freedom Flame.
we are celebrating freedom.
Yes, we are. We absolutely are, and we're looking forward to
And
another day. And AJ will be in town, so
yes,
if
and
you
it'll be his first on the ground.
and I think Nikki Rabbit will be with him
Yes.
as well. So this will be a great celebration in Ripon with AJ finally in the house for the lighting of the Freedom Flame.
Yes.
Beyond that, very quickly, we have to talk about Harry Waite's trial. Friend of the show and YouTubers, if you haven't heard about Harry Waite, you're gonna hear about him because we're gonna have him on one of these days.
Yes.
But he's got a 2-day jury trial coming up March 23rd and 24th.
And his final pre-trial is March 11th, and we're going to be there for that. And we did do a show on Harry Waite last week. So you can go and see it on Rumble or on the Ripon Rabbit Hole. You can still see that video.
Right. So, call to action. We're asking for everybody to come to the Racine County Courthouse on March 23rd and 24th, assuming they proceed with the trial, unless they were to drop the charges.
And in my opinion, they'd really be stupid if they don't drop the charges, because
Right.
they're going to be on record. They
So,
don't want to be on record. Anyway.
look at that. We timed it out pretty. We had to talk fast, Red, but we timed it out pretty good.
I know, I tried.
Next week, we'll get better at this. We're going to get better and better. I had a
I
tutorial
know.
with AJ the Rippin' Rabbit today, and eventually we're going to become as good as AJ the Rippin' Rabbit at
Oh, I
doing
don't know
these
about
shows.
that. He's pretty good at this.
So
We try.
So, folks, one of the things I want to tie up the McDonald's thing. The math doesn't make sense to me. Now, McDonald's will tell you that
Oh,
all their
yeah.
burgers are 100% beef, but the math just doesn't make sense to me because at every McDonald's you go to, they're very quick to advertise that they sell 1 billion of these things a day, and the math just doesn't make sense because the number of cows that would have to be slaughtered. Don't worry about it, Red.
I was gonna say
The number of cows that have to be slaughtered daily just to accommodate McDonald's needs just doesn't add up to me.
There we
Because
go.
I just don't think, we're talking 4,000 head a day just to serve the U.S. market.
No, if you think about that, and I know I'm going to get off topic of just a little bit. If you think about needing that many head of cows a day throughout the U.S., and I know how many farmlands are in Wisconsin, and farmlands are starting to be approached by data centers, which are taking away our farmland. So how are they going to sustain this?
Well, and this is and when you think about it, Red, this is just McDonald's.
Yes, just McDonald's. You're not
And-
talking about
and we're
all
not
these
talking about
restaurants.
we're not talking about Burger King, Hardee's, all the fast food places, plus the national change, plus the mom and pop shops, plus our grocery stores, plus the meat markets. I mean, it just doesn't add up to me. So
No. So what's really
if
in their meat?
if they're selling as many as they claim, are we looking at man-made meat? Lab-grown meat? Are we looking at other sources of meat? Potentially horses? I don't know. I don't know how you make up
Well, I
that difference.
remember back in the day, and I say back in the day, I'm thinking of when I'm like in my early 20s. There was that controversy of, oh gosh, what was it? Kangaroo meat? Or
Kangaroo
something
meat.
like that?
Well, there's a lot of kangaroo in Australia and New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And, who knows? Maybe that's why I have a little hop in my step after I eat hamburgers. Red.
Oh, I tell you.
Little extra bounce in my step.
And you say I'm the comedic one.
But what I want to talk about, folks, I pulled a jar of Western sweet smooth dressing from my refrigerator. And I wanted to look at the ingredients because I've been looking at ingredient labels all day today just to find out what they're pushing through on some things. And I'm thinking, okay, so I might prepare myself a salad, right? Lettuce, like farm-grown lettuce, though, not the lab stuff that you talk about. The farm-grown, I maybe slice up some tomatoes and some cucumbers, and I'm going to eat healthy for a change.
Cucumbers for you?
All right, well, I don't eat cucumbers, but some people do, Red.
Yes. Anyway.
So I'm going to eat healthy for a change.
Okay.
Right, and I'm going to eat a salad, but I got to have a little salad dressing, so I'm going to pull out this bottle of Western dressing. And as I look at the ingredients, folks,
he does eat salads once in a while, I will say.
One of the ingredients in my Western dressing
that you have to use a
magnifying
glass to see the ingredients.
I wonder if the food that I'm eating is impacting my vision, Red. But one of the ingredients is propylene glycol. And, I find out that propylene glycol is used in a lot of foods, and it's actually got a sweet flavor to it. But I also learned, Red, that, and I knew this from before, that's one of the ingredients in one of the things is antifreeze, Red. Imagine that. So when we go out and we need a little Prestone in our radiator to keep our engine cool, we're adding a little propylene glycol that you can find in antifreeze along with other.
Yeah, and where was it? You got all my, there it is right there. All my papers all mixed up here. It can be used, it is a food additive approved by the FDA as generally recognized as safe. It is used in salad dressings, soft drinks, and baked goods. It functions as a thickener, moisture retaining agent, and flavor enhancer. And yeah, that's to
A
me.
flavor enhancer. Now, if I were to drink antifreeze, it would kill me.
Yeah.
And,
We
and,
watch
and
a
I've,
lot
and
of
I've,
crime
we,
TV, and
we
we
do.
hear a
And
lot of
one
it.
of the things they say is that because of the sweet
sweetness,
flavor
yep.
of antifreeze, that's what allows people to ingest it. And it's why a dog, if it overspills on the driveway or something, a dog will consume that because of the because of the sweet taste of.
Yep. And I say that we watch a lot of crime TV, and it's not a joke because we do watch it. And I don't know how many times we see people putting antifreeze in someone's drink or food or whatever to harm them. And, it blows me away that, you know, how can you, I want to say, how can you not know? But at the same time, after researching all this stuff, we're eating it in our regular everyday food and we don't know it. Obviously, it's not the same amount that these people harming people, but it just makes me sick to my stomach to think that we're eating it and not knowing it. And what's happening to us? I mean, I thought that I printed off what it will do. I mean, the other functions they do for these industrial applications, chemical feedstock, used in the production of unsaturated polyester resins and polyurethanes. And it also functions in antifreeze and as a solvent in paints and varnishes. And this is in our food. I don't know, this is the salad dressing. What other kind of foods is it in? Are you going to find?
I think it's in a lot of foods, Red. I want to play a video though, Red, because this is something else that is found in foods, and you know me, when we go to a ball game, our grandson plays basketball, and what is one of my favorite things to do when I go to one of these sports events? What do I eat, Red?
You have your hot dog.
I eat a hot dog. For me, there's nothing better than a hot dog at the ballpark. And
honestly, they do taste better for some reason when you're at the ballpark.
And this is going to be one of my struggles moving forward because and doggone it, I forgot to load a picture, but I can look it up and tell you. I went to the grocery store today before I play the video. I went to the grocery store today and I took a picture of a label from a package of hot dogs. And now this is a very inexpensive brand of hot dogs called the Bar S. But what I can tell you, Red, is that the first ingredient in Bar S hot dogs
I want to know.
is mechanically separated chicken. Now, when I was growing up, and most hot dogs are going to be pork, maybe some beef. It used to be that you could buy all beef hot dogs. But this brand, the number one ingredient, mechanically separated chicken. And I want to play a video, and I'm just going to let it play, and we can talk through it. There's no volume to this video, folks. If you don't know what, and we'll explain the process as the video is playing. Red. And
I was answering a question.
Okay,
I apologize.
So why don't you share the question?
Well, I want to make sure that this is what he means. Are we under attack? That would be AJ that's asking. And Wetzel just asked, robot chicken? Half the time I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. Well, speaking of chicken.
I mean, we had birds aren't real, so.
Speaking of chicken, I'm going to play this video right. So this is mechanically separated chicken. There's a fat for dumping chicken kernels. We're talking the bones and all. This man does is under pressure. It's hard. It separates the bone from the bones. Well, this is interesting thing. So in the case of chicken, all of the tendons, all of these are made from things like
3D.
well, and things like
I
this slop that
Yep.
they make.
Yep.
Now they claim it's all white meat chicken.
I did see a video of it being like they used a microscope, and I can't remember how many times they zoomed in, but you could see um, the 3D printing of some of the meat, not all of it. It's kind of combined with, I think, that slop you just watched.
Well, there was a video that had surfaced about, and they called it the pink slop, that was being used to make chicken nuggets in some factory somewhere. You know, running through the little uh, shaper. Now, McDonald's denies it. They put out their own propaganda saying that it's all white meat chicken that is used in their chicken nuggets. And I don't mean to pick on just McDonald's, folks, because this is beyond McDonald's. This is
Oh yeah, but it's just the videos that we've seen are McDonald's, unfortunately. And I used to eat their nuggets a lot. I love their nuggets. Not anymore. I can't even eat store-bought nuggets anymore because I think of those videos.
so here's the other question, and folks, if you may not be familiar with the series that had been done on in a little bit off topic here, but in Barron County, we have a large genio processing plant in Barron County, and
Barron itself.
it's also home to a large population of Somalis, and that
Mm-hmm.
that turkey plant now is made. The employees are made up primarily, and we've learned this through some of the other shows and people that
Mm-hmm.
we've talked to,
Mm-hmm.
primarily of Somalian refugees who, let's face it, if you haven't assimilated to lifestyles in the U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
think and they have a job and maybe they do what they're told. Who knows?
Right.
But you have to wonder, in a factory like that where now you have primarily Somalian refugees working in the plant. What's going through the Genio plant? And these are all questions. They're not accusations. It's just questions I have in my mind about what's happening in plants like that. Uh,
Well, and I grew up in about 30 miles south of Barron, and their turkeys were the best back in the day, and we had a lot of turkey farms around, so we knew where the turkeys were coming from that went up to Barron. Nowadays, I haven't lived over there for years and years, so I don't know where the turkeys are coming from. I do have some people that work there that are former in-laws. Um, I haven't talked to them obviously in years, but it doesn't sound like much. According to them, they haven't seen much of a difference. But it's been years since I've talked to them. What do you?
well,
look
I wanted to talk a little bit about. So we're picking on McDonald's, and I don't want to pick just on McDonald's.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about um the actual definition of, what do you call it again? Mechanically
Well,
separated
the
meat.
official and Red wants me to read what the official definition is of mechanical separation of meat. It's defined as a paste-like and batter-like meat product produced by forcing bones with attached edible tissue through a sieve or similar device under high pressure to separate bone from the edible meat tissue. And they're referring to anything that isn't bones as being edible. So no, I want to talk about
What are you looking for?
Cisco. I think we had some information. So, folks, the reason I want to bring up Cisco is because I don't know if you've noticed, and I've noticed this a lot since I became aware of what's in our meat. Maybe I don't even have the information anymore.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, here we go. I know that locally Cisco is a company that provides a lot of restaurants in our area, and I'm talking anywhere from the national chains right down to the family owned. Cisco is a big provider, and I found out that they actually nationwide they provide like 60% of restaurants in the U.S. get their products from Cisco,
Mm-hmm.
and Cisco gets their meat from 4 primary. What are you laughing at, Red? Go ahead and read it, Red.
I'm sorry, Corey. She says McDonald's is never going to sponsor you.
No, probably not. So maybe I have to back off McDonald's. I did. If they're thinking about sponsoring me, if they want to supply us with chicken nuggets, Red, as long as you like your chicken nuggets.
No thanks. And I will say, Nick says, let's pick on Taco Bell.
And we,
Let's see, AJ says, how about Del Taco? So
I'm gonna just pick on them all because I'm gonna tell you we haven't eaten fast food in years.
no,
Red.
we haven't.
It's been years since we've eaten at fast food, but
Well, I will say that we eat at Culver's.
and we eat at Five Guys. And Five Guys, for those of you, so we did a similar experience or experiment with a
Yep.
Five Guys burger, and
Yep.
I don't know if you have a Five Guys in your area, but Five Guys is fresh patted meat,
Yep.
and we did a similar experiment with a Five Guys burger,
And they rotted quick,
and it
just like at the home
just
made
like
one.
just like the homemade burger.
Maybe that's our test on where we are safe to eat and where it's not. Is
But it's not just that, Red, because these burgers that restaurants are getting from Cisco now, and again, it's coming from 4 major suppliers, and I have the names of the suppliers, but it doesn't matter. Uh, they use 4 suppliers for their meat products, and we're talking about thousands of cows, being used, and they cut up the beef and get the steaks and whatnot, and then the trimmings from those cows from several different herds, maybe from different locations, different states.
you talk with your hands? I'm trying to grab the paper from you. But I mean, they do. Let's see, Cisco doesn't process the meats or whatnot. They just package it. They get the meats. Uh, oh, I didn't keep those ones. Um, they process the meat from. The only one that's popping in my head is Cargill for some reason. But the other processors, there's 3 other major ones that they get the meat from. So they just process or package it. I'm sorry, and then they give it to the customer, whatever they order. So
What I've noticed though, Red, and this is what turns me off of burgers right now. I've had burgers and now I'll pick on some other places because I've eaten burgers at Applebee's, I've eaten burgers at Chili's, and what I found is that they all have the same texture.
AJ's talking about Gel cheese
Gel cheese. My
and
and
Rojo popcorn.
I probably already blew that and
Yeah, we
that
probably are
opportunity to
never
be-
going to get their endorsement or advertise.
no, I think that Catherine Gell would probably turn her back on not only me but Rippin' Rabbit Hole because of me. But thanks
Yeah,
to AJ,
thanks to AJ.
probably
That's-
won't be advertising her cheese on our network, AJ, and I
No.
apologize for that. But
Sorry.
uh,
Well, sorry, not sorry, because AJ's the one that told us to do it
he's the one that trained
and
me.
showed you how to do it. That's a different story.
That's another story. We'll talk about that another time because that was just a classic for me. But not food related.
No.
But certainly Gel cheese probably up to some shenanigans, just like probably the
Rojo
popcorn, the
popcorn.
popcorn man down in Racine. Probably some interesting things going on there. Food is just not safe.
So Nick in the backstage. Oh, real quick. AJ says allegedly. Nick, I'm not so turned off by burgers, but I am turned off by having to make them all the time.
Oh, so Nick must work in food service, maybe, huh?
I mean, my guess. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, I'd like to know where. Maybe we could go try one of Nick's burgers, and because I am the burger connoisseur,
Right.
and my 220 can attest to that.
Well, they also talk about how I believe it's Burger King that has changed the way that they make or prepare, I should say, their burgers in the restaurants now. They don't just steam them anymore. They actually allegedly put them on a grill.
I thought Burger King I thought they were flame broiled.
No, that's the lines are made in the factory and now they're no longer steaming them. They're actually putting them back on a flat grill. I read that just a couple weeks ago.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what White Castle. I wonder if their burgers are good. Don't mock me, Red.
Why not? Um, I believe that they steam those, if I remember right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's real meat either. To be
No,
honest with
but
you,
they're good, especially late at night.
they were always good late at night.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I guess if anybody found any funky ingredients, if anybody looked, maybe they didn't. Oh, I'm getting some crackling in my ears, and I'm not
getting
sure what
crackling
that's.
in my ears,
I'm
and
not
it's
sure what
not
that's
me.
all about. I hope that's not being broadcast because that's really irritating.
Keeter in the backstage says BK used to have flame broiled roadkill. And Nick says ancient grains and grass fed. Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I just know that locally, I will go to the meat market to buy our meat because, again, the consistency of burger between a meat market and the grocery store meat, if you just play with the texture of the meat, it's just different.
It is. And the
And,
color. The
and the
color's
color.
way different. We do have a friend that, we talked about how do you know where it's safe to go eat at a restaurant if you don't want to eat out? And she said, well, I know, and I can never remember the name of the restaurant. But she asked the owners, where do you get your meat? She said that she does that a lot when she goes to places. Um, and if they, say Cisco, then she won't eat there. If the person says, oh, at such and such, like Maplewood Meats, where we go and get our meat, then she knows it's okay. So if it's from a local butcher down the road, then she knows that, okay, I think I'm fine having my burgers here. That's just,
And you and I are not in the habit of asking where people get their meat, but I've gotten to a point where I don't even like to order burgers anymore because there's just a different texture to some of the Cisco burger. There's a different texture and different flavor,
smell.
different smell.
Well, at least that one burger that we had, or you attempted to eat, you're like, I cannot get that smell out of my mind.
Which really disappoints me because I just love burgers. And
Yep.
when I see a burger come out that's pre-pattied, I struggle with that. And I think we all have to because who knows if it's being run through. They claim that beef is not run through mechanical separators, but I don't know. It just
What is
crazy.
there left to eat?
So we are Tin Hat Thursday, and I can talk about a report recently where someone said they tested some McDonald's meat and there was human DNA found in the meat. I didn't read it any further because I'd like to think that nobody is putting, could have been something as simple as someone cut off their
No.
finger at the plant and that's where the DNA came from.
Well, God, that's way down the rabbit hole.
It is, and I'm not prepared to talk about that because
No.
we don't have any articles that back it up. I'm just sharing an article that I read.
Yeah, and the person that I gave the article to somebody, and I knew that person was gonna try to run it through AI to see if it was real or not. And the problem is AI is only going to tell you what they want you to hear. They're not going to tell you the deep dark truth about things.
And quite honestly, Red, I would have to learn how to do a test like that because I'm not going to trust anybody. We are up against the hour. That's it, Red. So take the volume down. Take the volume down. So you can not do it. So, folks, I guess all I'm going to say is, we just touched. I'm trying to bring it down a little bit lower. We just touched.
Keith said that he's jamming.
Who is?
Keith is.
Oh, we just touched the surface of our food, and we didn't even get to ask anybody about the ingredients they found, and I hope people didn't carry a can of peas out to their living room to share with us because I forgot that I had asked people to do that. Maybe we'll play food ingredient bingo one of these weeks, Red.
Oh, you know what? That would be a good idea.
We'll have to send out some. What was the
Printable bingo cards. What was the what?
I just saw a thumbs down come through on the.
I don't know. I don't know who did the thumbs down.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter. So I guess all I'm gonna say in closing, Red, is
Irish likes the bingo idea.
there we go.
All right, we'll have to
do
plan
food
that.
ingredient bingo. We'll make up some bingo cards that you can print, and we'll look for some crazy ingredients, and maybe we'll have a prize for someone who yells bingo.
Well, yeah, because you know this year we didn't do the Tin Hatsy Awards,
And
so
we get the freedom.
maybe we'll do bingo.
And we get the Freedom Flame coming up. Who knows? Maybe
Mhm.
there'll be something to commemorate the Freedom Flame
Correct.
that we could give to the bingo winner if we're able to pull it off.
Right.
But anyway, I guess in closing, all I would say is that we touched the surface of food safety in this country. Hopefully, Robert Kennedy will continue to do the work that he's doing and make food a little bit safer in the U.S. We know that there are other guidelines in Europe and other countries, and we can only hope that we fall under those similar guidelines and food becomes safer for us to eat.
Well, you bring up real quick about other countries. I know you show me videos all the time of kids eating American food from different countries, and they're like, "What is this?" And they'll have, like, say, Mountain Dew, but their Mountain Dew is way different than ours because they don't have half the ingredients.
Some countries they can't sell Mountain Dew, and I'm a
Correct.
Mountain Dew-aholic.
Yeah. And real quick, Nick says, if we don't nurture our bodies, we end up in the hands of Big Pharma.
We do, and that's the truth of the matter, is how much of this food is making us sick.
Right.
Is mechanical separated food a part of making us ill?
Exactly. So,
Or
read labels, people.
yes, read labels and eat healthy
If you can.
if you can
Try.
find it. All right, Red. Have
Tomorrow
a good night.
AJ the Rippin' Rabbit, 8 o'clock.
Back here on YouTube for the first time in 4 years. AJ will be
Yes.
on YouTube.
Right.
And Sunday morning, we have to talk about Sunday morning very quickly. Where 2 or more are gathered, 10:30 a.m. in the backstage only. It's not broadcast anywhere. It's just up in the backstage. If you don't have a place to go and worship with other folks, we invite you back with us. We do a little Bible study. We're going through Proverbs right now.
Correct.
And it's just a great hour of fellowship every Sunday morning.
And we'll be back Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. We the People Wednesday, 8 p.m. Tin Hat Thursday, 8 p.m.
And AJ returns to YouTube tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Be here. Or be.
Be square.
Have a good night, folks.
Have a good night.